Good morning, beautiful people. So it's so funny that I went to my lash tech, and when I walked into her space, she said to me, "Hello, beautiful people." So I guess it's catching on with the "Hello, beautiful people" thing. And so for the first time, I never really thought about it. Like, I know I usually start with hello, beautiful people, and then I know that I usually close with adios, amigos. And the adios, amigos comes from, I don't know where I got the phrase from. I mean, it's Spanish, but I don't know where I got the phrase from, but I know that I used to say it to my classes when I taught, and I would tell my students adios, amigos at the end of each period for them to get out and then usher in the next class. But I don't know where I got good morning, beautiful people from. So when my lash tech said to me, oh, hello, beautiful people to me, I'm like, where did I get that from? And then I remember just now in this moment that Marilyn Manson had a song when I was in, like, I don't know, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, when I was a young teen. He had a song called The Beautiful People. Now, I'm not a Marilyn Manson fan, nor do I listen to Marilyn Manson. Hey, JoJo. Nor do I listen to Marilyn Manson. But I had a friend in high school, Gregory Turner, who would come to school, and as a joke, because we were kids and we were being silly, he would sing that in people's face, like, the beautiful people, the beautiful people. So I was thinking, like, damn, did I get the beautiful people from them? I don't know. Well, anyway, I'll say it again. Good morning, beautiful people. How are you on this fine Sunday? I usually do not go live on the weekend. I have a set schedule of when I go live. I go live on Mondays on YouTube. I go live Wednesday mornings, and then I try to go live one other time. But Saturdays and Sundays, I leave for administrative work for Align with Alison, and then I leave for my life, and I leave for my friends, and I leave for cheerleading, and I leave for my husband. But the reason why I decided to come on this morning on a Sunday, and I said I never go live on the weekend just because I'm taking care of other business, is because I did a speaking engagement this morning, and the details are in the story. It was a private event with a life coach. Her name is Abby, a very lovely woman, and her group are a group of amazing women across the country. I think one person was in London. But anywho, or I should say the UK. I don't know if they were in London. They were in the UK. But anywho, when I was doing this private, I guess, guest session, so to speak, with this, in collaboration with this life coach, she sent me a series of questions that her existing coaching program, the ladies in her coaching program, have in regards to relationships. So this lovely lady at abby.stasior, it's in my story. She invited me to speak to her existing wellness coaching group. So I assume that a part of her grouping strategy is that not only does she have her own topics that she covers, but she also invites other coaches that are niche down and specific. And so she invited me to speak in regards to relationships. I just finished that. And I wanted to share with you a question that was asked of me from someone, a woman who's a part of this group. And she asked me this question. She said, how to tell when a conversation is going somewhere in dating apps, or if you should move on. So I'll read that in kind of a more cohesive way. How can you tell if a conversation is going somewhere in dating apps, or if you should move on? So I gave her 3 pointers. So this today I'm offering is 3 pointers on how to tell whether or not your conversation is going somewhere on a dating app. So step 1. If you are in conversation with someone on a dating app or from a dating app and you've transitioned to text messages, right? When you are conversing, if your text messages are continuously a lot thicker and meatier than their responses to you, then that's a red flag. So if you have, and usually the text messages are color coded, right? Hi, Scotty. Usually the messages are color coded. So if you're green, let's say, and your messages are green and meaty and green, and then the person gives you back gray, and then you're green and meaty and full and green, and then the message back is gray, that is an indication that they are either disinterested in what you have to say, or it's an indication that they're too busy to talk to you, which means that they need to wrap it up and move on. If it just means moving on for the day and saying, hey, I'm a little busy today, I'll get back to you, or if it means that they need to get off of apps because they're too busy, either way it goes, the conversation should be relatively equivalent, meaning the amount of text messages And the size of your text messages should correspond to the person responding. If you're sending these 3 big messages and then you're getting a thin message back, then that's an indication that the person's not interested in what you have to say, or the connection is lacking, or they're picking up on something that you're not, and that's okay, right? The second way that you can know whether or not a conversation is going somewhere based on a dating app or from a dating app transitioning to text messages is the frequency of the messages. So you've connected with someone, you've matched with someone that's on an app. Now you're texting back and forth with each other. And this person's taking 3 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours to respond. Then again, they are either disinterested or they're too busy, which guess what? Being too busy is the same as being disinterested. They don't have the time, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with not having time. However, they need to communicate that, and or if their life is too busy, they need to take a break from the apps and reorganize their life or reconsider whether or not they need to be on the app. So we need to look at frequency, right? Like if we are texting and then they text us back 10 hours later, 24 hours, it's over. That conversation is over. You need to end the conversation. You can delete it. You can say, it's been a pleasure. You can say whatever it is that you need to say. But nonetheless, if this person is taking more than 24 hours to respond to you, they are disinterested or too busy, which is the same damn thing. You need to move on. And the last point that I shared with the young woman that I was a part of this panel, well, I mean, it was a one-person panel because it was only me. But this panel is that I advised her that 1, if the messages are way too big from you and too thin from them, then they are not interested. 2 is the frequency of the messages, like how frequently are they responding back to you? And now I lost the third one. Oh, Lord Jesus, pray for me. The size of the messages, the frequency of the messages, how quickly you're getting them back. And there was something else, and I forgot. But I can tell you I was amazing on this call today. That I can tell you. I'm going to move on to the next question. So someone asked, how important or informative are love languages in a relationship? So again, welcome everyone who's joining me live here on Instagram. I'm Alison from Align with Alison. I'm a dating and relationship coach. And this morning, normally I don't do Sunday lives. Y'all never see me on here over the weekend because I'm too busy. But I decided to come on this Sunday because this morning I did an event where I was a guest speaker with a life coach with her existing life coaching program. So she had me on, and before she had me on, she sent me some questions that her clients already had in regards to relationships. This is what I shared with them. So I figured I'd come on and I would share some with y'all. So the second question I was asked was, how important or informative are love languages in a relationship? So what I shared with them, and these were all women, I said, relatively speaking, you probably already know what your love language is, either consciously or subconsciously. Either you've taken one of those cute little quizzes online, so you already know what it is, or you know that when your mate brings you a gift, you're excited and giddy. And when your mate cooks for you, you're like, oh, thanks, babe. And that's the end of that. You know that you prefer gifts over acts of service. Or when your partner cooks for you, you're like, oh, that's so amazing. But then when they do something, right? Like you already know what you like or what you don't like for the most part, especially women. So knowing what your 5 love languages are, you already know. I'm glad you know. And if you don't know, take the quiz and you'll figure it out. What's more important about the love languages than you knowing your own is that you know what your partner's love language is. And this is why. Many times we will give love either in the way that we like to receive it, or we will give love in the way that we perceive the other person to receive it versus actually knowing for a fact how they receive love. And so if we believe that they prefer acts of service and so we do their laundry for them, right? And that's not the normal protocol. That's not how normally the relationship works. And then you think that they like acts of service, and then they're like, oh, thanks, babe, and they keep it moving with no real thank you and no real level of appreciation. Now you're pissed off and annoyed and you say, oh, he doesn't appreciate me, right? It's not about the person not appreciating you. It's about the fact that you are not showing them love in the way that they interpret love to be. So it is imperative that you are aware of the way that your partner receives love so that when you decide to go above and beyond every couple of days, weeks, months, years, whenever you decide to do it, You know how to do it so that you can receive the satisfaction of knowing that you're showing them love in the way that they prefer. So that you're not disappointed or annoyed or feel unappreciated because they didn't show the vigor that you wanted them to show you. So if you know that they like acts of service because either you assessed it or you blatantly asked them or you sent them the quiz and said, babe, it'd be so cute if you filled it out and you got the results. However, you can know for a fact whatever their love language is, you should know it. So that when you choose to show them love, affection, attention, whatever it may be, you are doing it in a way that they appreciate. And so they're fulfilled and they're going to reciprocate it and they're going to show you that they appreciate it. So you will feel fulfilled that you're doing the right thing and you truly are appreciated and loved. So again, anyone who's joining now, hi, I'm Allison from Align with Allison. I'm a dating and relationship coach. And the reason why I'm on this Sunday, I'm never on in the weekend, that's why I'm confused, is because I just finished doing an event with another coach. She's a life coach. And in her session, she asked me to offer some guidance, some tips as to what I offer my own clients. So I kind of condensed it as much as I could in an hour's time. And they sent me questions in advance. And one of the questions that was asked of me in advance was, how important are love languages or knowing the love language? And it's not about knowing yours necessarily. It's more important that you know the other person so you know how to give them and show them the love so they can appreciate it. And then in turn, they can appreciate you. If you don't know what your love languages are or you want to know what your partner's love language is, you can Google love language quiz. It's like 10 questions. Text it, send it to your partner, ask them to fill it out, do it when you're laying in bed, looking at Netflix, whatever, so that you can see what it is and so that you can fulfill their desires more accurately. And then in turn, you can be sure that they feel fulfilled and then you feel good about the fact that you're doing it, quote unquote, the right way or their way, right? If you don't know what yours is, take the quiz too and send it to them with a smile, just in case they've been doing it wrong, okay? And then the last question I'm going to share with you that was asked of me is something that I talk about all the time, okay? So the question was, how do you choose what standards they have to meet and can we be flexible? So y'all already know the spiel. It's the same spiel I come on here when I go live 3 times a week, okay? Yes, you have to know what your standards are. You should know what your standards are before you even open up a dating app, before you create an account, before you click on it, before you do anything. You have to be aware about what your standards are. This young lady who asked me, do I have to know, calls it standards. Y'all, if y'all know me, know that I call it non-negotiables. You have to have 5 non-negotiables. Those are 5 things that your partner must have in order, or potential partner, because you're still in the dating process, what your potential partner must have before you can continue to date them, vet them, what have you. You have to know what it is. And let me tell you why this is imperative. This is the same corny example I give every week, y'all, but it's so important. That's why I have to repeat myself. And plus for the folks that are new who are joining us. So I know that I own a pair of headphones. In order for me to be able to find my headphones, I need to know that they are white. I need to know that they are cordless. I need to know that they are the size of my ear. I need to know that they belong in a little case that's about this size, and then I can charge it in the case. Those are the Apple earbuds, right? If I am looking for headphones and I don't know that they're white, I don't know that they don't have a cord, I don't know that they belong in a little case, I don't know that they fit right into my ear, how am I going to find it? How am I going to find something if I have no idea what it looks like? You can't. You have to have an idea of what you're looking for in order to find it. How many times have you guys parked in a big parking lot and you can't find your car? All the time, even since I was young. I don't know what's wrong with me, right? So in order for me to find my silver Infiniti, I have to know that it's a sedan, it's a 4-door, it's silver, it's an Infiniti. I have to know that. Or I'm going to be crying walking up and down the aisles in the big parking lot at BJ's at Gateway looking for my car and never going to be able to find it because I have no idea the size, the color, the door, the make, the model, and nothing. In order for you to be able to find your appropriate match, you have to know exactly what you're looking for in the first place, or you're wasting your time and you're wasting their time. You're wasting money on apps. You're wasting your investment. You're wasting dates. Even if you're not paying for the dates, you got your hair done, you got your nails done, you got your lashes done, you got an outfit, you got shoes, maybe you got your makeup done, you got You're wasting your time. You have to be clear on what your non-negotiables are, and emphasis on non-negotiables. We're not negotiating here. We are not negotiating. You have to be abundantly clear on what they are. You have to be abundantly clear that they are non-negotiables. We're not moving from this. And the only exception I will make in terms of changing your non-negotiables is if you decide internally that one of those 5 is not as important as this new one that you found, and you do a swap. We're not bending or being flexible on our non-negotiables because we found somebody who's cute, but he don't have 2, 3, and 5. And so now 2, 3, and 5 are out the window, and all he has is 1 and 4, and we're going to move forward. We're absolutely not doing that. What we will do through our vetting process, because this is a lifelong decision that you're making with potentially with these people. We're not here to play games. This is a long-term investment, financial investment, time-sensitive investment. So I'm not dating people willy-nilly. I'm not going on dates because I'm hungry. I'm not going on dates because I'm bored. This is a true investment of myself and my future and how I foresee my future, right? So I am going to be sure that those 5 non-negotiables are met. The question is going to be, well, Alison, how can you be sure? You can never be sure. No, but I'm going to be confident. And the way that I'm going to be confident is 1, knowing exactly what I'm looking for before I even move forward. And then secondly, I'm going to be asking them a series of questions as we go through the dating process to assess whether or not they fulfill those non-negotiables. Yes, we're gathering data to support our thesis. Yes, you are back in school. And it might sound cold and analytical and scientific and mathematic. I don't care, because this is your life. And for you to make decisions willy-nilly without having some level of evidence before taking the next step is ridiculous. You would not go get your hair done unless you've done research on the stylist. You're going to make sure that she has or he has the experience, the knowledge, the skill set, right? And that's your hair. It grows back. You are doing research before you purchase that car. You're going to check what the gas intake is. I don't know, the mileage per, whatever it is, you're going to do the research, right? We do the research when it comes to the silliest things. I spent an hour last night trying to find a mirror on Wayfair. And a whole hour. It's a mirror. It reflects. All mirrors are the same. However, when things matter to us, we put in the investment. The concern is that women who, especially in their 30s and 40s, start to get desperate. And so they're not putting in the time, the effort, and energy necessary to vet these people that you're going to share potentially the rest of your life with. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life with a mirror, but I spent a whole hour vetting mirrors and I did not make a choice, and I'll be back at it tonight again. Point being, yes, we do have to be this meticulous. Yes, Sable, we have to be this meticulous when it comes to choosing a mate, because this is a long-term investment, potentially the rest of our lives. It doesn't have to be, and I am a proponent of leaving when necessary, but the plan is, that's the intention that we're going in with, is that we're going to be long-term, and so as a result, we have to put in the work. You have to know your 5 non-negotiables. You should be constantly testing your thesis, right? You should be testing your hypothesis. This person seems to have, how do I know? You're asking questions and you're not being annoying, right? This is not a checklist. There was another gentleman who came on 2 days ago and says, oh, sounds like a checklist. You need to be a little smoother than that. You have to put a little bit of your feminine woes in it, right? So when you're asking your questions, you're also offering yourself. You're offering information about yourself. So you may start with a story about yourself and then end with a question. So, I really wish that I had a closer relationship with my sister, because family really matters to me. Talk to me more about your family. What was your experience like growing up? You are assessing whether or not this person is a family man. You are assessing whether or not family matters to them. And not to say that it's 100% given, but I know people who haven't seen their family or their parents that they claim to love that lived on the block in 6 months. And it's not because of COVID and they're trying to keep them safe. So we have to be mindful of whatever our non-negotiables are. For me, it's family oriented, right? Amongst other things, we're asking a series of questions in different ways, in a particular way that we're not doing the Spanish Inquisition, but at the same time, we're asking thoughtful questions. B-Rock says effective questioning to gather the data so that we can assess whether or not that person fits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of our non-negotiables, right? When the dating process continues, you start to meet friends. You start to meet like lower level family, like not mom and dad necessarily, but brothers and cousins and aunts and whoever. You're going to ask them questions too. You're going to ask, oh, well, tell me how David was when he was a kid. What was it like? What was it like growing up with him? Oh, yeah, man, he told me about how much he loved football. How was he on the football team? Football team? He never played football. He was in the band. Now you got a liar on your hands. You need to ask questions. You need to ask questions. Even the best sociopath, which we love to throw that word around like everybody's a damn sociopath, and they're not. They're just smarter than you because you're not paying attention. Even the best of the best do not have every base covered. You have to take responsibility for your life and your life partner and who you intend to build this life with. And the way that you take responsibility is first knowing exactly what you're looking for by building these 5 non-negotiables. Secondly, as you continue to date or begin to date, that you are going to assess whether or not they fulfill those 5. And it's a continuous assessment. Nobody's becoming my boyfriend within 3 weeks of us meeting on an app. That's not happening. It's not happening at all because I'm married. But it's not happening. What needs to occur is that after I know my 5 non-negotiables, I'm constantly asking and offering of myself. It's a back and forth. It's a natural conversation. You need to be strategic in that. You're constantly questioning strategically about these 5 non-negotiables so that you can see whether or not they have them. Throughout the process, you're going to continue to date. You're going to date other people at the same time. You're going to date other people at the same time. You're going to date other people at the same time. And if anybody shames you for dating people, multiple people at the same time, once you've made it abundantly clear that you are seeing many people, then they are silly. You have to know what's out there. I don't go to a store and randomly pick a t-shirt and pay for it and walk out and wear the shirt. I'm looking through. I'm searching through. And I'm going to take some off that I like. Well, I don't know, because it's COVID. I don't know if you could try on stuff, but you get my point. I'm going to take off the items off the hanger and I'm going to go and I'm going to try them on in the wardrobe room. And then if they're a good fit for me, then I'm going to keep them and I might keep a few of them. And then I'm going to switch them out in the wardrobe until maybe I make a decision. And perhaps if I made my decision and I'm pleased with one, maybe I'll return the others. It doesn't mean that I slept with all of the guys I went on a date with. It doesn't mean I wore all the shirts that I bought out and just tucked in the tag. It doesn't mean that. But if we are being realistic, we have to understand that this dating scene is huge and we want to make the best choice that we can. It is impractical to make a choice based on your first time out. It is impractical for you to go and buy a car without test driving it. It is impractical for you to go shopping for clothes or shopping for shoes or shopping for whatever and not try anything on. Again, I'm not saying that you should be sleeping with multiple people if you don't want to. You make whatever choices for you that's the safest. However, you should be dating. And many times, especially in the Caribbean community, there's a lot of shame attached to dating. And I'm going to tell you that they are foolish and you need to date. You should be actively speaking to more than one person at a time. You should be actively doing meetups if you don't want to necessarily invest in a date. I understand. You meet up for coffee in a public place. And then if you're so inclined, you can then continue on to actual dates once you are honest and clear with the individual that you are dating. I don't even know where I started with this question. So let me go back because I went on my normal spiel like I always do. Yes. So the question was, how do I choose what standards they have to meet and when can I be flexible? So the choice of making those standards are all your own. No one can dictate to you what your choices should be. I have my 5 non-negotiables, which may not be any of your 5. So no one can tell you what should be your non-negotiables ever. Whatever was problematic for you in your formal relationships, then you're going to do the opposite of that. If you were dealing with someone who was a liar, then maybe one of your non-negotiables is that the next person has to be truthful or transparent or honest or whatever adjective you choose to use. Whatever was amazing in your former relationships, you might want to replicate that. So if this person was hardworking, then you might want to take that characteristic, hey Joy, and you might want to transfer that over, right? Whatever it may be, you have to come up with your own list. There's no one on this earth that can create a list for you that will make you happy other than you. You may also want to use the examples of others. So I have a friend who's married. She has a wonderful, healthy marriage. There's some characteristics that I like from her relationship. I might take some of hers and use them for mine because I like it. I might see some things that are problematic that I would never stand for. I'm going to take some of those and write the opposite because when we write our 5 non-negotiables, they're always in the positive. Our 5 non-negotiables are always in the positive. They're never in the negative. Not a liar, not a cheater, not broke. Like, we don't write like that, right? So we're writing whatever our 5 may be in a positive and present tense. He has, she has, right? Because it's more empowering that way. But I also recommend to my clients, and this is on the first session out, is that if you are looking for a mate and you're dedicated to finding that person, you should be writing down those non-negotiables every single day. Write it down every day, every morning, every night, during your lunchtime, whatever it is. And the reason why you're writing down these non-negotiables every single night is because you want these non-negotiables to be on the top of your mind as you're dating. Initially, it may be a little bit awkward when you're asking these questions to assess whether or not the person has the non-negotiables. Eventually, as it becomes a part of your being, then you are going to become a natural when you start asking questions, because you already know it's on the top of your mind that hardworking is important to me. Let me ask him what he does for a living. Let me ask him how many hours he puts in. You're not asking how much money he makes. You can Google that. Don't be rude. Even though, side note, not aligned with Alison, but Alison is really passionate about transparent conversations about money, credit, and business. But dating aligned with Alison, you're not asking somebody how much they make. You can Google it. But you're asking them, where do they work? Do they feel fulfilled in their work? How many hours do they usually put in? Do they have any other side hustles? Do they have any other passions? Is there any other career path that they see? And so if hardworking is a non-negotiable for you, like it was for me, then I'm looking at those answers. Oh, I work like 20, 25 hours a week. That might not be the red flag yet. And I work a blah, blah, blah job that Alison finds menial. And I really haven't thought about any side hustle, but you in your 30s, but you haven't thought about anything. No entrepreneurial, no investing, no real estate. You're not a good match for me. Might be an amazing match for somebody else. And that doesn't mean this person is trash or garbage, but Alison is looking for something and someone else may not care. They don't care how much money you make. They don't care what you do for a living. They come from money. They happy being regular, whatever it is. Point being, if you're writing down the non-negotiables every day, is on the top of your mind. So as you're dating, as you're vetting, now it's becoming a part of your normal process. It's becoming a part of your normal thinking. And so when you ask questions and you're engaging and you're communicating and you're just having a natural conversation, those qualities come out. My last point, because I can't give y'all too many of the jewels, because then what am I going to have for my coaching program? Nothing. The last point. Do not tell anyone that you're dating exactly what you're looking for in regards to qualities. Do not tell anyone that you're talking to, connected with, dating, exactly what you're looking for in regards to qualities. I do recommend highly, it's my number one piece of advice, that you need to make it abundantly clear what you want in a relationship. You're looking for long-term, you're looking for marriage, you're looking for children, you're looking to not have children, whatever you want, you need to make that abundantly clear from the dating profile and moving forward. Yes. But in regards to your 5 non-negotiables, do not tell this person what your 5 non-negotiables are. And I want you guys to tell me why. I'm going to shut up for a second. I'm going to let the time lapse catch up. And I'm going to see if you guys can tell me why it is not a good idea for you to tell anyone that you are potentially matched to, that you're connected with, that you're texting, that you're communicating with, that you're starting to see. Why would it not be a good idea to tell them exactly what you're looking for? Thank you, Esther. Thank you, T. Elman. If you tell someone exactly what you are looking for, they may be inclined to manipulate you. They may be inclined, to pretend that they are this person because they like you for whatever reason. They think that you're attractive. They like your personality. They like what they think that you can offer them. They are going to misrepresent. They may, not they're going to. We don't know what anyone's going to do. They may misrepresent who they are in an effort to keep you. They are going to manipulate you and manipulate the situation so they can keep you. And then it's not going to be long-standing because that's not who they are. They may not be honest. They may not be hardworking. They may not be affectionate. Those are my qualities, right? What I'm looking for, what I found. I ain't looking. Whatever you guys may be looking for, do not tell that person because they may then use it against you. I was going to say in a court of law because I watch too much Law and Order. They may use it against you moving forward in your relationships, potentially manipulating your needs and wants. they can subliminally change to fit in, but that change won't last forever if it isn't real. Absolutely, Ms. Frias. Nonetheless, I'm going to end this live right here. As I said, guys, I usually don't go live on Sundays. I usually reserve that for my own pleasures, cheerleading, my family, so on and so forth. But since I did the event this morning and I had a series of questions from someone else's coaching program, which was quite refreshing, I thought I would come on and share some of the points I shared with them for free. So check out more free stuff. You can check out my IGTV. I have plenty of videos there. You can check me out on YouTube every Monday. That's tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern. I do a show called Love and Lunch where we look at lyrics of hip hop and R&B songs from the 90s and early 2000s. And we talk about the relationship and lyrical implications. Please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube. Continue to follow me if you're here right now. Thank you very much. And share any of these videos or this content that you think will be valuable to your friends and your family. Anyone who's single, share. I love coming on here and interacting with you all. And y'all are so damn smart because y'all just gave me the answers right then and there. It's been a pleasure. I see T Natural, you just came on. Welcome. And Star Breezy. I'm about to end it, but feel free to go back and listen from the top. Love you guys. Adios.